CMF Phone 2 Pro Review, Next-Gen Modular Phone. You might be surprised to learn that the CMF Phone 2 Pro by Nothing is one of the most interesting phones of 2025, especially for anyone who followed the first CMF Phone 1. This initial device came out of nowhere and introduced a whole new system of modular accessories that could be screwed into the phone itself. Even without those accessories, it was one of the best affordable phones on the market. It all appeared to happen all of a sudden. It was named Cheap Phone of the Year because it was so good and only cost $200 to $250. The CMF Phone 2 Pro promises more features, better quality, and a bigger ecosystem, even though it costs a little more at £219. When you open the Phone 2 Pro's box, you'll find a lot of extras. The wallet stand hybrid that was just made is one that sticks out. This hybrid does two things that are quite helpful. There are also interchangeable camera lenses, which were only hinted at last year, but are now a real and useful feature. The bundle also includes a universal cover, a long-lasting lanyard, and two new wireless headphones, the Buds 2 and the Buds 2 Plus. The Buds 2 are likely to be light and made of plastic, but they have unexpectedly good sound quality, with clear sound and a lot of bass. Even though their active noise cancellation isn't very good, these headphones provide useful features like auto pause and responsive controls. For £39, they offer an unexpected level of quality that could easily get a 9.5 out of 10 rating. The Buds 2 Plus have a smoother texture, a metallic finish, better sound quality and noise cancellation, and an amazing battery life of up to 61.5 hours. You can get them for £49. Both sets are quite good deals and give you a lot more than what their prices would suggest. The phone itself is the most crucial aspect after that. The Phone 2 Pro comes in 4 colors, and after trying out 3 of them, the bright orange color stands out as the best pick. The black and green versions are meant to seem like glass, but the material doesn't exactly do that, and it ends up feeling rather cheap. The orange kind, on the other hand, looks better and feels more sumptuous when you hold it. There have been several adjustments to the design. The Phone 2 Pro has a third camera, a more comfortable design, and a novel piece of hardware called the Essential Key that is unlike anything else. Also, it's easier to hold because it's thinner, lighter, and has a somewhat curvier shape than the one before it. On the other hand, one big change to the design is that the back panel is now firmly glued in place. The Phone 2 Pro's bonded architecture limits how much modular modification can be done. In contrast, the Phone 1 let consumers remove and replace the entire back and sides for only £29 apiece. Even though this change made the design smaller and made it more water-resistant, IP54 instead of IP52, it also made it harder to damage the back of the device. This might make people want to use a cover again. We should also add that the new modular features, including the magnetic wallet stand and the interchangeable lenses, now need their own universal cover. This is just an extra shell that can be fastened onto the back with the screws that are already there. Even though it comes with the necessary magnetic and mounting systems, putting it together is a lot of work because you have to unscrew, align, and re-screw parts. Most users probably won't want to take it off after it's been connected. Adding this case makes the handset heavier than the last one, even if the core phone is thinner. Some of the accessories, such as the wallet stand, don't meet the requirements that were stated. It can hold up to 3 cards, although it feels full when you have more than 2. It works fine as a stand, but it just gives you one fixed angle, which is not as flexible as the options that third-party firms offer. The good news is that the placements of the screws have not changed from the last edition. This means that the Phone 2 Pro may still use all of the old CMF accessories, such as the wallet, lanyard, and phone stand. The Phone 2 Pro is better than expected for the price when it comes to everyday use. One of the most important new features it adds is NFC, which allows for Google Pay functionality. This feature wasn't available in the first version. The storage space starts at a little 128 gigabytes, but it can take micro SD cards that store up to 2 terabytes, which is very rare these days. One of the best things about it is that it has a 6.7-inch AMOLED screen with even bezels and a smooth 120 Hz refresh rate that can change size to save battery life. The screen is also one of its best characteristics. The display isn't the brightest one on the market, but it's bright, well-balanced, and gives you a viewing experience that costs a lot more than normal. The phone just has one bottom-firing speaker for sound, which isn't very good compared to other stereo setups. On the other side, it has a great feature called Ultra Volume that boosts the speaker output by 50% above the highest volume that is usually utilized. It works well in loud places and truly makes things louder without changing the sound right away, even if it wasn't meant to be used all the time. The battery life is great because of a number of things, such as a 5,000 mAh cell, a better display, and software that works better. Users may expect the screen to stay on for 7 to 8 hours and the battery to survive for 2 days if they use the gadget moderately. The MediaTek Dimensity 7300 Pro chipset is a little more powerful than the last one. When you add 8 gigabytes of RAM and software that has been very well optimized, you get a smooth, responsive experience that feels like a high-end device. This one feels like it was thought out and planned, unlike other cheap phones, which feel like they were made on a whim. We are still quite good at making software. Nothing OS doesn't have a lot of bloatware, which is nice, and it gets 3 years of upgrades, which is a good number for a pocket-friendly device. The user experience is slick and sleek, and it comes with practical improvements, like a new lock screen that lets you choose the widgets, a smart app drawer that organizes itself, and a safe location to keep sensitive files or apps. An interesting new feature is the important key. You can use the shiny, round button for a lot of things, such as voice commands, taking screenshots, and getting to a central essential space right away. The aim of this area is to collect all of the saved content from multiple apps, such as photographs, reminders, and notes, and put it all in one, well-organized place. Even though the idea is good, putting all of your important items in one place instead of using a lot of different apps, the implementation is still a touch rough. The assistant doesn't always understand commands correctly, and there are no capabilities for categorizing things right now. There is a lot of potential here, and with updates in the future, it might become very useful. But right now, it needs further work. Finally, the cameras are here. The CMF Phone 2 Pro has made a lot of development in this area. The main 50-megapixel sensor has been replaced with a larger one, which has made photos clearer, brighter, and more detailed. The secondary sensor, which wasn't very good before, has been replaced with an ultra-wide sensor with 8 megapixels. A new lens with 50 megapixels and a 2 times telephoto lens has also been added. This makes the zoom work better and makes portrait photographs seem a lot better. Even though the camera system doesn't have certain more advanced functions yet, such as optical image stabilization, it is the best at this price point in terms of what it can achieve. Even though processing can still be hard in bad lighting, the overall quality of the image is really good. You may change things even more by adding lenses. The fisheye lens is meant to seem like an ultra-wide lens, although it uses the main camera's better sensor. Some people might not like the way the edges look soft, yet it gives the picture a unique touch. The macro lens is probably more helpful than the gimmicky macro shooters that have been a problem for inexpensive phones for years. It lets you take close-up pictures that look like they were taken with a really high-end camera. It is likely that the CMF Phone 2 Pro does not completely change its modular accessory ecosystem as expected. However, it does offer a big improvement over a device that was already quite good. The core phone is better than the other models in practically every way, including the display, performance, battery, cameras, and software. Even though some of the peripherals don't feel as high-tech, the phone itself is now in a class by itself at this price point. Even if it has some strange features, it is the kind of cheap phone that doesn't seem like a compromise. This doesn't happen very often in a market that is always evolving. Thus, it quickly becomes one of the most recommendable phones of the year. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.